Usyk Dubois, they go again on the 19th of July at Wembley.
We have the benefit of the replay, of course. Oleksandr Usyk did complain about a low blow, but watching it back on several occasions, it's beltline, boys. It is a beltline. It is a beltline shot. It's not in the breadbasket.
I'll always listen to the fighters that have actually been there rather than look at the layman that think they've got an understanding of it. So I listened to Carl Frampton instantaneously come out with the response as it happened. That's not a low blow. I spoke to Spencer, who was there, who again was in the same space. Carl Frotcher's got a different view, but some of that might be about his agenda with frankwarren.
If you're a fight fan, a boxing fan, if you're a fan of this show in general, then you are in for a very, very big treat, because we now know that at Wembley Stadium here in London on July the 19th, it's all set. They go again. Oleksandr Usyk, who of course overcame Tyson Fury not once but twice, who has overcome the best in the business. Of course he has, Joshua, and of course Daniel Dubois. Well, now he and Dubois go again.
Alexander, how are you feeling?
I feel good.
Good to see you.
How tough was this to make, this one, for a second time?
It wasn't. It was very easy. You know, Daniel's come off of 3 sensational wins. There's obviously controversy from the first fight, and we got on very well as in business with Aegis and Alex Krasik, and it weren't a problem to make it at all. So we're doing the fight between us, and we're doing it at Wembley.
I mean, that is the reputation that the Ukrainians have. That Usyk is such a humble man, Frank, and his people, Klimas and Krasik, are pretty damn normal to deal with.
Yeah.
Although with the success of Usyk, I would have thought they'd quite rightly get more and more demanding in terms of what they want.
No, everybody knows what the value is of the fight. I mean, it's 4 belts, it's history. First time ever there's been a unification heavyweight fight in the UK. And first time 4 belts have been on the line. So this is a massive, massive sporting occasion in Britain.
What did you make of Eubank then?
Good, great fight. I think Ben win.
What's changed? Because the last time you were together was very respectful. I'm not saying it isn't still respectful, but there does seem to be an added intensity there.
Yeah, for sure. I've changed. I've learned from that. There's been a lot of pain from what happened last time, so I want to get my revenge, etc.
What did you learn? In every single fight you learn something about yourself. What did you learn about yourself?
What you got fresh?
That's what I've got.
Was it a low blow?
Does that look low to you? Does that look low? Look where it is, look. Is that low?
Yeah, you get the job done.
That's low.
Yeah, that's right.
That's south of the border.
Frank.
You're looking at that there.
Isn't it?
That's clear. That's clear. Let's have a look. Nice day.
What are you guys looking at?
Look at that.
But
No low.
You're
we're going to clear up the controversy.
Yeah, Trump, yeah.
I'll clear up that controversy now for you. I mean, you must have watched that. How many times have you watched that?
Yeah,
Last time.
and I didn't, so I know.
Yeah? Just give it to me.
Do you feel he would have got up? Do you feel he would have got up?
That's one view. That's the other view. Look where it is. It's navel. That's below the navel down
Are you
there.
focusing on body work for this camp? It seems to be
Don't look
the
like
chink in his
me,
arm.
Frank.
That was not south of the border.
Oleksandr Usyk, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is in the studio with Simon and myself, alongside his manager, Aegis Klimas. And Oleksandr has already very kindly written me, if I can hold it up, a very nice message in his native tongue. Oleksandr, hi to you.
Hi.
What does this message tell me?
It's message all people. World loves the strong.
The world loves the strong.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And you are the strong. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
I hear you were sleeping in another room.
Yeah, little bit. When I have time, all time I will be asleep.
You had a face-off with Daniel Dubois at Wembley. We showed it earlier on YouTube. You stood with Daniel on the pitch at Wembley, and he pushes you.
Yeah.
There it is. What happened here?
For me, it doesn't matter. For me, it doesn't matter. Listen, this is show now. Fight we 18 July.
19th of July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it just show. For me, doesn't matter. Listen, I prepare 22 years for this business and the boxing. Boxing is not my life. My life is Jesus. But boxing give me opportunity, give me team, give me like I'm famous, have money, you know. I love life. Boxing is just part of my life.
It's just part of your life.
Yeah.
Boxing has made him famous, Simon. He has a lot of money, but by God, he deserves it. He's the best, right?
He's a remarkable fighter. And I remember the interview that he did with the Mail, the English newspaper, the Mail, and talked about Anthony Joshua opening the opportunity and thanking him. And I thought that's how the heavyweight champion of the world should conduct themselves. Elegant, sophisticated, with style. And I have tipped in every fight him to lose. So that doesn't mean I don't respect you. I've picked Fury to beat you when I was wrong. I think I picked Joshua to beat you in the first fight when you first really arrived in the heavyweights after fighting Witherspoon and Chisora, and I've been wrong every single time. And I have a feeling that I think that Dubois is going to beat you. But again, my apologies.
You're not alone.
But it will be a great fight.
Of course.
It will be a great fight.
Igis, you are Oleksandr's manager. You love this guy. I mean, he must be like a brother to you.
He's like my son, not a brother. Age, we have a difference in the age.
Yeah.
So we cannot be brothers. But we can, of course, but he's like my son. I care for him like my son.
Can you ever have imagined what he has achieved?
You know, I had the dreams. I had thought about that. Then the first time we met Oleksandr, I saw something. He is a special. So that's why we took the whole career. We took kind of like not in a rush in the beginning and slowly, but then we pushed on the pedal and we achieved what he achieved, where he is right now, where he is today.
We have an interpreter in here who's just behind the camera, Valeria. She may get involved, but we'll see how we do with English here, Oleksandr. Of all the heavyweight British fighters you have fought, Fury, Joshua, Dubois, where does Daniel Dubois
Chisora.
Where does Daniel Dubois rank amongst those fighters
right now? First time I wanna grateful for UK and all my UK opponents. First, it's Joe Joyce. You know, remember it's British Lions, Ukrainian Ottoman, 6th round, like it's half professional series. Yeah. First, it's Joe Joyce. Thank you, my friend. Second, Derek Chisora. For me, it was great test because it's only my start heavyweight division. Yeah, I win. Derek, bro, thank you so much. Then it's AJ, 2 fight. You know, AJ, bro, thank you so much because after this fight, my career go up. Thank you, bro. 2 time. Then it was Daniel Dubois. Then it was Tyson Fury 2 time. Hey, my greedy belly, bro. Thank you so much too. You're great. Now we organization rematch, second fight with Daniel Dubois. It's just great. I think it's great.
But of all those fights, Oleksandr, of all of those fights, which was the toughest? Who is the toughest?
Хто самый жорсткий?
Хто самый жорсткий, да.
I think it was Derek. And first fight Tyson Fury.
We also forgot. I'm sorry. We also forgot about the Tony Bellew.
Oh my God!
That was the last. That was the last cruiserweight fight. Tony Bellew.
Tony, brother. I'm sorry. Yes.
Oleksandr, I do a show on talkSPORT for BetMGM with Tony Bellew. He will have told Simon, and Tony Bellew says, "You fought him, but he could not keep you back. You're coming from this angle, from this angle, from this angle. He could not withstand you. This is what you do, isn't it? You never stop."
Because my coach talked to me, "Hey Alex, don't stop because your legs, it's your win. Please, you must every time like take focus with ring.
Yeah.
Because like you отпускаешь.
You let it go.
You later don't focus like get out home. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Enough. Go home."
Many people thought after the second Fury fight, maybe you retire. Usyk will retire. Are you thinking at all of retiring? Did you come close to retiring?
В конце.
Все думали, что после второго боя ты уйдешь.
Valeria, come in if you want. You can.
I don't understand. Listen, my team, after fight, after second fight, Tyson Fury, I make like a meeting. My team, Usyk team. Yeah, I say, hey, listen, I feel I can continue training. I can continue boxing because. My doctor, my physiology trainer, my coach boxing, all my team look at like my body, hey Alex, your body it's great. Your body wanna more. Only you and you myself and like this. I say I wanna listen. I will continue boxing.
Because in studio we have two great fighters. The man it seems nobody can beat, Oleksandr Usyk, is with us in studio, and the man who tried and failed but was going to try again on at Wembley Stadium on July the 19th, Daniel Dubois, is in studio as well. The two boys have come hot foot to London Bridge to the studio here from Wembley Stadium, and the two were on the pitch and they faced off. And it got slightly heated. Oleksandr is saying this was nothing. There is Daniel wearing a very nice powder blue suit. There's Oleksandr in his Team Ukrainian tracksuit. A bit of shoving, but it came to nothing. Daniel, good afternoon.
Yeah.
What was that about? You're just letting Oleksandr know that you're there.
It is a bit of that, but at the end of the day, it's a fight, so any time we're in each other's faces, it could kick off. But I'm happy that I've got this opportunity and I'm ready to fight.
Let's hope it doesn't kick off this lunchtime. We're in the small studio with two of our friends, two good security lads and a member from Oleksandr's team. You must respect Oleksandr, I'm sure, for what he's achieved so far.
Definitely, you as a fighter, you see them and you see what they've done, and then when you get the opportunity, I want to win. I want to beat him as well. He's been up there a while and he's had his day. So now is my time. I'm really confident and ready to fight.
Do you still try to tell us that 2 years ago in Poland you beat Oleksandr Usyk?
It was about that, you know. It was, in my opinion, that was a proper body shot. I mean, you know, I could go over it and over it, but it was a body shot that landed, and now I have a chance to clear up the controversy, you know, just right to say it clean. You know, I've come back. You guys have seen I've come back a new man, a different man, a new fighter, and I'm just excited to show that I'm on the rise.
Oleksandr, do you still insist it was a low blow? You had 4 minutes to recover.
Listen, first fight it was in the past. Now I live in now, present. I show you one picture. If maybe it's not clean, was clean punch. Just a moment, please.
Oleksandr is looking for a picture in his phone. Simon Jordan is looking over Oleksandr Usyk's shoulder, looking for that same picture.
How do you think?
Well, you're going to tell us that this was not a low blow.
That wasn't the same punch.
All right, that's a punch, isn't it?
Yeah, that wasn't the same punch.
It's one punch. Один is. One is. One off. This.
Show it to Simon. Is it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
But as you say, Oleksandr, you live in the present, not the past. Do you think this version of Daniel Dubois presents a much bigger challenge than the version that you fought 2.5 years ago?
Valeria is just translating.
Listen, Daniel, it's a hard fighter.
Yeah.
Daniel win Horgovich, Miller, and Joshua. It's a great. Now, maybe Daniel better, but me better.
Are you too good for him? Are you the better fighter, Oleksandr? Do you still feel you will be too good at Wembley on July the 19th for Dubois?
Yeah.
Why are you so confident?
Listen, I believe that I win. I feel I can win.
Where's the change come in you, Daniel? I mean, I remember watching you fight Joe Joyce and all the furore that came after that and all the headlines about you coming through.
Yeah.
You were going to take over the division. You had a couple of periods of years where you were rebuilding. Where's the switch changed from losing to him in whichever way you lost to where you are now?
I don't know. I guess you could say I've.
Do you believe more in yourself?
Been through ups and downs, and that's a big difference. I just really know how to turn it on.
Big difference to you?
Yeah, he definitely has. My dad, Don, and the other people that's revolved around the camp that have brought new life to the camp have definitely helped and sharpened me up. So you're gonna see a new me.
What did you take from the first fight against Oleksandr? What did you take away? I mean, you took away a loss, and I think that Oleksandr. I don't think it was a low blow, but I did think he beat you in the end.
Yeah.
But and beat you convincingly, Daniel. But what did you take away from that fight?
It wasn't just a fight. It was a lot more than just a fight. It was a lot more. But I've rebuilt from it. I was in a dark place and I came out of it, and that's the main thing. I come out of it, and I can't wait for this one. It's going to be a bloodbath, and I'm really looking.
How'd you feel? This time you're going to go to Wembley.
Yeah.
And you're going to fight in 90,000 fans. Last time you went there, everyone was ready to put the crown on top of Anthony Joshua, and you upset that.
Yeah.
You're going in front of 90,000 fans now that will be potentially cheering you on. How do you feel about going to that environment with all the support potentially on your side?
It doesn't matter if they're cheering him on or
doesn't bother you.
Don't matter. I love the sport and fighting to win.
Have you ever fought in an atmosphere, Oleksandr? You fought at Tottenham Hotspur with Anthony Joshua, 60,000 people. You will have seen on the weekend possibly Ben versus Eubank, 60,000 people. This is 90,000 British fans that are going to be potentially supporting him. Does that environment concern you?
for me, it doesn't matter. Listen, I go to all place when leave my opponent. For me, it's a great because I too have a lot of followers like here in the stadium. Listen, 100,000 people go to watch and fight me and Daniel. If this stadium support Daniel, no problem because it's London.
Yeah.
Just for me, it's a great.
Yeah.
Listen, my focus it's a ring. It's not my followers, not people. Blah 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 blah. And my team and me. Because when I listen voice to it, first round, my focus like a okay, go.
Yeah. Oleksandr, do you think a lot of people have said Daniel in your first fight doesn't have the heart? Do you think he has the heart to run you close, to get close with you?
It's a good fighter. It's a boxer. Listen, I respect all who boxing in gym because I know it's very hard. I respect all my opponent, Daniel too,
including him.
Yeah.
I think we're in for a treat, Daniel, don't you?
I think so too.
I think the way that you're looking at this and you are focused, I can see it in you. You are focused. You know what you will have to do. But Daniel, you'll have to do something extraordinary.
No one else has done.
That no one else has done.
Yeah.
To beat Oleksandr. No one else can do it. Why can you do it? What can you promise us?
That I'm gonna,
steady. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean? I can say a million words about it, but I feel it. I'm ready. Everything that's happened to me over this from the last time we fought is a lot of pain, a lot of built up anger and everything. So I want to just dish it out and make sure that I come away with all the belts and do it in London. That'll be special, to be the first unified champion in London, England. So that's what I'm about, creating history.
Oleksandr, we're going to go to a break in a second. We know what you have brought every time you fight. You are extraordinary. Extraordinary. What will you bring on the night of July the 19th? What Oleksandr Usyk will we see?
Як я виграю 19 числа? I bring light, I bring happy, I bring win.
You bring fight, you bring happy,
fight, yeah.
And you
Free
bring
time,
the win.
Undisputed from Ukraine, Oleksandr Usyk. Usyk.
Love it.
Mr.
Warren, you'll go, Frank.
Well, you've all been demoted down here. What's going on?
in the cupboard.
I'm right, young man.
Daniel out there.
No, you just told him to start up.
Coach George yesterday.
Frank,
Yes, young man.
I say, when I win, you present me Bentley.
Yeah, and when Daniel wins, what are you going to give me?
I don't have Bentley.
What cars are
Ukrainian business. I don't have Bentley. You have, I not have.
All right.
Okay.
how's that, Oleksandr?
Good. Yeah.
It's the best fight in the best. It's the best two active heavyweights in the world. It doesn't get any better than that. And you've seen them the first time, the controversy about the low blow. I've got my picture as well here, which shows it was on the belt. Look, watch it. On the belt.
Picture.
On
Let
the
me
belt.
see
I
it.
was given this. That's on the belt. Have a
This
look.
is a genuine picture, Mr. Warren.
Of course it's a genuine. That one wasn't what he showed you on his phone.
That
was a
was a
previous
moment.
punch.
And of course, it was deemed a low blow.
Yeah, it's a liberty.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Simon Usyk on the floor for 4 minutes.
Yep. Just under 4 minutes. Yeah.
He turned it around.
You came up to heavyweight. You beat a couple of guys that I didn't think you were going to beat them. And you beat them, so I respect you, and I have to respect you for that. I want to ask you a question from the bottom of your heart. When Daniel hit you with that shot, I know human beings, when you get hit low, football, whatever, people, you straight away, you hold like this. When you got hit, you went down and your body started shaking like this, your stomach. And the referee looked at you, you didn't say low, you didn't complain, you sat there and you froze because you were hurt. Why have you not been honest? I want to know.
В конце переводить. Yeah. Okay. It's your opinion.
It's not opinion. I'm asking your opinion. I'm asking
Bro,
you.
listen. This is position, like not punch. Yeah. This is. Your fighter punch me this.
But your reaction.
Stop.
Your reaction.
Yeah, reaction. Listen, you doctor.
See Shakur, you see Floyd. We know it all the
My
time.
friend,
They
my
stop.
friend,
They
listen.
stab.
If you
They
wanna,
stab the belt always.
if you
So the
wanna,
belt
if
will
you
not
wanna,
give opportunity
if
to
you
us.
wanna
Yeah,
play,
yeah, honestly.
if you stop. If you wanna play, playing start now.
Yeah. Let's play.
Yeah. Listen.
We're always ready to play.
Listen.
Trust me.
This clean? Bro.
I've seen so many clips.
This is clean?
I've seen so many clips. I've watched boxing my whole life. If this shot here, let me explain.
My body shake because you punch here.
And your belt is high.
Bro,
as well.
it's one.
I've watched boxing my whole life. Of course, that's why I'm saying, because I fight. I've done the 250 rounds with Fury. I fought people. So my answer to you, my question to you, I've watched boxing my whole life.
Okay.
How many? How
many professional?
Every time the belt it gets punched.
Fight?
Every fight. But I know you were hurt. And you know what? Forget me, forget him, forget all these people.
Okay.
You know you were hurt. Because I heard what you said. You know.
It's your opinion.
No. It's your opinion. No, it's my opinion. Yeah. It's your reality.
Not my reality.
Okay.
Stop. It's my time now. Please, listen. How many professional fights you have?
Don't worry about that.
No.
Don't worry about that.
So you ask questions, you want him to answer you,
Many
but you
amateur
don't
fights,
answer.
sparring. Yeah, five.
Maybe you, як тобі били нижче пояса хоч раз? Did anyone?
Yeah, of course, I've experienced.
How you feel?
It depends, but when I get hit here,
Yeah.
the first thing I do, this is what you have to understand. When I got hit here, the first thing you do, any man, we've all been here. Football hits you there, you get hit here. You hold like you go, you went, and you sat there, and your body started to move like this. I saw what I saw.
Because
and the referee,
you fight my ball.
The referee went, and then you went. And then he said, no.
Okay, 3 minutes.
I know what I saw. That's not opinion. You can go watch. Everyone can go watch.
Listen, bro.
Yeah.
See you 18, July?
Yeah.
19 July. Again.
I see. No, listen. I told you. I cannot take away your achievements. I respect you.
Okay.
But I know what I saw.
Okay,
It's your
one
opinion.
experiment now. Okay?
Let's ask
You
Daniel.
stay.
Let's ask Daniel to punch.
Stop, guys. One punch, I give you here. Yes, now power, and one punch here. Okay?
If you punch me there, I'm gonna take your head off your shoulder.
No. You
punch me there.
He asked you.
Okay, and
He asked you. You don't have to get it over. He asked you as experiment.
And you tell me how you feel. Okay?
How different is Daniel in terms of a fighter this time around?
I think that's the making him in that fight. You know, the fight obviously was in Poland. We couldn't be in the Ukraine. It was in Poland because there's a lot of Ukrainians there because of the war. That's where it was. And he was going in the other guy's backyard. And that punch and what happened afterwards, I think really affected him. And it shouldn't have done. And afterwards we sat down and talked about it. And he said about the referee complained. I said, look, that's your referee and they're your judges. And that's what you should have done. You should have jumped on his ass after the fight, been on top of him, and won and done the business. You're capable of doing it, as he's shown in his last 3 fights against world-class fighters, again going in as an underdog in each of those fights. And he's only 27 years of age. He's grown up, more importantly, he's grown up mentally. And I wouldn't be making this fight like I didn't make the first fight if I didn't feel he could win. And he weren't far off of winning that fight. With having shared the ring with Oleksandr, who's a great fighter, he knows what he has to do. And he's got to go and prove a point. And he's proved a point, in my opinion, in his last 3 fights, because he's been called all sorts of things with the round tables and the press conferences before, and he's shown what he's all about in the ring, and he will do the same thing on the 19th, which is going to be a spectacular fight.
This man doubted the credentials of Eubank Junior Ben at the weekend to go in and get such hype around it. But I was there at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Frank. I mean, 68,000 or whatever it was. The atmosphere was insane. Is this going to top that?
Of course it is. This is the best. This is the best fight and the best. You know, they've done tremendously well. They fought their hearts out. The pair of them fought their hearts out. And you can't do no more than that as a fighter. You cannot do no more than that. But they're not the best of their weight divisions, respective weight divisions. These two are. These are two superb heavyweights. There's 4 belts on the line.
Yeah. Such is the scale of the occasion.
And you've got the guy who's coming in and beating all the Brits.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Brit basher. That's all he's done. He comes here, he beats all the guys. Well, now we've got a man here that I hope and I believe will reverse that.
You've got another one coming in at your back. Arsenal invincible Martin Keown.
Yeah, there's another one.
Is alongside.
You don't look bad yourself, sweating.
Of course, Frank Warren, a big Arsenal fan. Simon, just before we hit the break, and we'll talk more with Martin and Frank to finish the show today. That's the first time we've had a lengthier conversation with Oleksandr Usyk. Nothing gets to him, does it?
No, he's a class act. There's no doubt about it. He's a class act. But Daniel Dubois deserves lots of plaudits. He went into Wembley Stadium with 90-odd thousand fans waiting to anoint Anthony Joshua and demolished him. So I think this will be a remark. I think they're both fantastic specimens. Usyk is a class act, a mature individual because he's older and wiser, comes from a completely different background. But Daniel Dubois is growing into himself. This will be one hell of a fight. This will be a proper fight, like all of the Usyk fights have been. And I've got a sneaking suspicion, despite the fact that people will ridicule my judgment, that Daniel Dubois this time will come out victorious.
I'm not so sure. Usyk really impressed me. You know, that aura of a champion.
Yeah, exactly.
Where he strutted around,
Absolutely
walked in.
Class act.
His intelligence, like the messaging. He's got a very clear vision, and I think a lot of this is upstairs. You know, of course they're big, powerful men, aren't they? Yeah. But he was really impressive, and his team around him. They're smart cookies.
Do you drink Guinness? I like Guinness. Not a lot of one glasses, mini glass, small glass.
So you can only have a mini glass?
Now, no, because now I wanna win.
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah. Now just sparkling water with lemon and rice and duck.
So then after Daniel Dubois fight, you'd have a Guinness straight away?
Of course. Big glasses, not small.
How many? Five Guinness?
Bigger.
How many Guinness could you finish?
2 liters.
2 liters?
Yeah, like this, and a big,
It's like a 3 pints.
like a
Okay,
this,
3 pints.
this hand, and like a this, and come on.
You make me thirsty now. Now you make me thirsty.
More, please.
You can't just have a Guinness, you have to eat something as well.
No, I don't like burger, but I'm eating sometimes a burger. Like often my foods, it's porridge, meat, fish, vegetable.
No, but as in like, so say you, just after Wembley Stadium, you want to eat something that's not duck and rice, something that's like, you know, what I'd call like a cheat meal, like something that's like...
Kebab. Yeah, it's a shawarma. Ukraine, shawarma, велика, подвійна. Чи самсушка, тандирна самса, бомба. Пацани, ви просто не розумієте, що відбувається.
So I'm in the middle. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Been stitched up, Frags.
So I've been stitched up again.
Where's Spence? I spent the last half an hour. Sorry, darling, you want to polish me?
Yes, please.
I spent the last half an hour trying to work out how to pronounce Alex's name properly. Now I've mastered it, I don't need to use it. So I can balls up Aegis's name now.
How was that on there, Simon? Enjoy that?
I think Oleksandr Usyk is a class act. I think you can't denounce it. I like Daniel, I'm very fond of Daniel.
Where's my pen?
It's downstairs.
Please, green color, okay?
You want it in green?
Green color, okay? Okay, no problem.
I've got one in rust.
If it will be black, no problem.
Yeah, but make sure you ask for the right one that's fully loaded, that's got everything on it.
Yeah.
If you don't want any cheap Bentleys.
It's full up in the bag.
Hey,
Simon,
which Bentley do you want? Which
you're
Bentley?
insulting a man.
Friend,
Of course, he has everything
friend,
wrong.
talk to me. When you win
Exactly.
second rematch, Daniel, I present for you Bentley.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Frank, you sticking to the bet?
I'm
Yeah?
good.
So again,
Bentley for Oleksandr.
Bentley for him, Bentley for me. So yeah, it's a great bet. I'm a good ticker.
I don't have Bentley, Frank.
How about me?
You
Hey,
can
how
get
about
it your
me?
way winnings.
I have Moskvich.
Alexander, you want one of these, right?
Yeah, one too.
That's what I have.
Yeah.
You want to get the same one as I've got?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But my one's, make sure he gets you the same one as I've got.
Yeah.
It's even if I haven't got cards against. The spec, absolutely. Everything. Special colours.
Don't know how you finding it.
As usual, the silent before the storm.
I like it.
This is something extra special, and it's the two best fighting each other. Usyk, the number one,
Absolutely.
and I think Daniel's number two, and this is his moment in time to try and make himself the number
Was this
one.
always what you wanted, Frank? I mean, obviously what you tend to get, and I'd be gentle with my words, is if someone wins a world title, they might get a little bit of a gimme before they go into a huge fight like this. Is this the ideal scenario for Daniel?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's a young man. He's coming off a good run of wins against two undefeated fighters. Both won a mandatory challenger in Hrgovic. Babe Miller, who's top 10 ranked, and obviously a two-time world champion in AJ. And in all those fights, including the fight before those three fights against Oleksandr, he was the underdog.
Can I ask you, Aegis? I mean, given the landscape and the shake-up now, Alexander's obviously beaten Tyson Fury twice. Is this the fight that he really wanted, given the circumstances of the landscape of the boxing world in the heavyweight division as it is now?
Well, you know, Alexander already reached a lot, achieved a lot in the boxing. You know, beating Joshua twice, Fury twice. He was undisputed in the cruiserweight division. He was undisputed in the heavyweight division. And right now, for him is a chance to become undisputed in the heavyweight division a second time, which is never ever done in the history before. So for him, it's just not to win a fight. For him, just to win a legacy. He's already a legacy, but right now he's going to put the dot, probably, which is we're not going to see in the future anybody going to repeat that.
If he wins that undisputed game for the second time and creates this legacy and history, where does the motivation come from after that? Is there talks of, you know, this could possibly be his last fight, or is he not looking beyond that? I mean, tell us where his motivation comes from.
The motivation is going to be who's the next.
Right. But I mean, like, he's cleaned up the division. If he beats Daniel Dubois again for a second time, he's pretty much beat every top contender out there. So where does he find it there? Is that a conversation after that? Is there life after that?
Who is the next? Again, if it's going to be a good opponent next, of course it's going to be a motivation for him to train, because, you know, to get the motivation, you need to have a good opponent in front of you.
So there's been no conversation about, like, maybe retiring after winning this one or that undisputed for the second time. Has that ever been a conversation?
We are a team where we're not running ahead of a time. We're not running ahead of a train. We're going with a train. So right now, the whole team, everybody is concentrated on July 19th. Let the July 19th go. On the July 20th, we're going to start talking what is next.
Is this a one-fight deal? Is this one fight?
For us, yes.
If Dubois wins?
You have to ask Dubois' promoter.
Then he wins. And then we'll look and see where we go.
I'm asking, is there a rematch clause in this particular fight?
What our contract is, unless somebody wants to tell me that I can be ignore the confidentiality agreement, then I'll do it. But as far as I'm concerned, we're focusing on this one, and not if. I do believe Daniel will come through, then we'll make the right decision. It depends how the fight turns out.
Sure.
Because Daniel wins, got a trilogy.
That's why I'm asking, because
You've got
obviously
the three
Alexander
belts.
has 3 belts
One
on the
each.
table.
Even probably without a contract, would be a smart thing to do.
Sure.
And we've got a great relationship, so that's not
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
all the time. Don't keep on.
No.
Well, he always speaks very highly of you, Aegis. Listen, UK and Wembley. I mean, I personally think it's the best place in the world to fight. I think we have the best boxing fans. For this fight to have been staged in the UK and Wembley, Frank, how have we got to that point, and why are you guys comfortable with it fighting in Daniel's back garden?
Usyk always was the warrior on the road. He was fighting all the time in somebody's backyard. So for him, this is what it does.
But he fought Daniel in Poland, didn't he, though?
Yeah, Poland was
very big Ukrainian.
Yes, I agree on that. But right now, I believe Usyk has more fans in UK than any of the other UK fighter. And I think Wembley was the very good choice to do it.
You agree with that?
Yeah, I do. Well, obviously, there's a terrible situation in Ukraine with the war.
Sure.
So he's fighting away from home, and they're professional fighters, and it'll generate the most income in this country.
I think Alexander's very recognised in the UK with the history of the fighters he's beat, going way back to Tony Bentley at Cruiserweight.
He's beaten every British fighter he's fought in this country.
Frank, can I ask you, how does this show work then? Is it, I know it's a K2 and a Queensbury promotion, joint promotion, so will it be Queensbury fighters versus K2 fighters through the card? I mean, how does that work?
There may be some of those.
Could it be like one of those?
We sort of briefly discussed the undercard, and we'll work that out. But the most important thing is the fight. The biggest fight in boxing is happening. It's the biggest fight. It's the biggest guys in the biggest fight.
Can I ask you, Frank? I mean, what do you think is the fundamental difference between the Daniel Dubois that fought Oleksandr 2.5 years ago and the Daniel Dubois that now faces him now?
I think he's matured mentally, very much so. The talent's always been there. You know, he can punch, he can box, he's quite fast. That's there, and it's probably improved on that. He's only 27 years of age. But I think mentally, he grew up a lot after the first fight with Alexandra. And he's shown that in his next 3 fights. As I said, he was underdog. He got even the build-up to the fights, where normally he doesn't say boo to a goose.
Yeah, he's coming out himself.
He'd come out of himself, and certainly with AJ, in that room with AJ. I mean, AJ is a street guy. And I'm not being disrespectful in fact saying that. He's come from the streets. Yeah. He's had, a bit like myself, come from that background. You know, Daniel's not been like that. He's been brought up since a kid to be a boxer. That's his father's mantra with him, and that's where he's at. And he tried, I think in some ways, you know, he's quite cute, AJ. He was trying to put it on him a little bit, you know, like I'm a you know, who I am, you show me some respect and that. And then that moment when it sort of went off and he jumped, so he said, come on, let's have it here. Yeah. I thought was a telling moment for him, as was the same thing against Hrgovic. Yeah. When Hrgovic done the same thing, saying he had no balls or whatever, and he replied
going to school him and all that sort of stuff.
And replied to him in language. I never heard him swear before. It's the first time I heard.
Can I ask you about Alexander? I mean, I have a deep-seated admiration for him. I think he's a remarkable man. I think we've had him in a studio in a different show a little earlier, where I think he just exudes all the sophistication that heavyweight champions should have to exhibit. But coming against Daniel Dubois now, Daniel Dubois is a younger man, a regenerated, reinvigorated man. How do you, as the Usyk camp, view the Dubois challenge?
Well, we think it's a very competitive fight. We think Dubois is going to come in different than he was 2.5 years ago. We already talk about that. We understand he already get better where he was 2.5 years ago, and we understand it's not going to be a walk in the park. It's going to be a very, very heavy, very, very difficult fight for Alexander.
Do you expect a more challenging fight? Do you expect it to be a better version of the first fight?
I believe so. That's what the Daniel's going to bring it to the ring. That's what keeps Alexander motivated. That's what keeps him preparing for the fight, training hard, and get ready for July 19th. I think it's going to be really, really competitive fight.
And you have to take your hat off to him for that. You didn't have to do it.
Do you see Daniel as the biggest threat in that heavyweight division right now? When you look at the landscape of the heavyweights, I know we've got some good fighters like Moses Atoma coming through, but right now, do you think that Daniel is the biggest threat to Oleksandr out of all the other heavyweights?
Right now is the best opponent what he can get.
Yeah.
The best fight, the best opponent what Oleksandr can get today, it's Daniel Dubois. There is no other.
Not wishing to break up this lovely spirit of a cold, where are we on the low blow from the last fight? We've just seen in the studio Oleksandr bring in a picture which Frank says absolutely has nothing to do with the real picture of what happened in that fight.
I can see a picture in Frank's
Where are we on the low blow discussion, and how do we make sure it doesn't happen again?
Well, that's up to the referee. One thing the referee didn't do before the fight was to come into the dressing room and go through that. He didn't do that, which was remiss of him. He just didn't do that. And the rest of it, we're repeating the same old stuff. He's shown his pictures. I've got mine in my back pocket right here if you want to see them again. Not a problem for me. But you've said it, you don't feel it's the same. And it's a split. People are split with it, what they say.
I didn't think it was a low blow. I think Daniel got well beaten in the end. But I don't think
but he lost the momentum of the fight.
Just a 1 second. Everybody was in the pictures when punch finished. The punch came from the bottom, and it came up. So all the pictures what you guys have, it's already finished the punch.
Do you think that the two fights, Frank, I'm going to ask you to observe on Usyk. I think we all admire him for his achievements. We all admire for the way he conducts himself. Yeah. Do you think that the two fights that he's had with Tyson Fury have taken a little bit out of him, which makes it a different fighter for Daniel to fight than the fighter that he fought last time round?
I do, and I hope that's going to be the case. I do. They were, especially the first fight. The first fight was a tougher fight. Second one, obviously, I knew each other a bit more. But I would say this. It's my job to say, but I do think there is a way to beat Oleksandr, but it's got to be a good quality.
But you think take the body, don't you?
I think but I think it's fair to say if you're going back to that fight and then you look at what Daniel's achieved since then and how he's grown as a fighter, it's a different fight altogether, as Igor's already recognises. So.